Now we're going to move into section 11.6, where we're going to take our discussion of probabilities a bit further, starting with the discussion of what are called complementary events, where the general idea of what we're looking at here is the probabilities associated to a certain event not happening. So if we draw back to one of those last examples we did in 11.4 and think about the social networking example, if instead of looking at the probability that we got someone in 18 to 35, we thought about the probability of getting someone older than 35, well, thinking back to that data, we could see that, well, we'd have 975 total participants in that data set, and older than 35 would capture 3 groups with frequency 254, 195, and 58 for a probability of about 52%. That is the probability of getting someone older than 35 from that sample would be about 52%. But the other way we could see that is instead of thinking about it as that group by itself, we could understand that the group older than 35 is the opposite of the group that we counted. That is, we were looking there at the probability of something other than 18 to 35, at least in terms of that data set. And this brings us to our big idea here of a complement, where if we have some event E, its complement is denoted E prime, where when we look at these complements, we have one very important rule that we work with here, where if we take the probability of our event E, whatever that value is, and then add to it the probability of its complement, you look at the probability of something happening and then anything else happening, that actually counts all of our possible cases. So the probability of these two put together would give us our total probability of 1. And more usefully, if we've got some event E, like maybe what we saw over there, where we had a whole bunch of cases to consider, it may be easier to instead think about that event E as being the opposite of some nice event that we can find. So E has probability 1 minus the probability of its complement. So if we say have to find a value for things bigger than 0, that could be a whole list of options. But more easily, you could think of it as the opposite of the event 0 by itself, which might be a lot simpler to work with.